there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, Jon the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Man, this stuff rocks.
Hey, what's up? This is Tonya from Lydia's Castle.
And this is Corey, also from Lydia's Castle.
And you're listening to
BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, Jon the Bod, aka the Bodfather, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to welcome Corey and Tonya of Lydia's Castle. Hailing from Nashville, Tennessee, Lydia's Castle have released several singles entitled Phoenix, Falling Into Place, and Search for You off their upcoming self-titled EP. And we're going to be talking to them about all this good stuff. So, how you guys doing so far?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, been a very good day on my end. Just forgiveness for not having the video figured out quite yet. We try to get some troubleshooting down, but I figure we just go for it and I'll try to figure it out on the fly. But as long as you can hear me, that's the prettier part of me anyways.
It's all good. Technology is crap. I'll just say that right now.
I know, it's amazing when it works or when you're smart enough to navigate it. And, more often than not, I feel like I'm both of those. But, when it doesn't want to work, it's just all out frustrating.
Yeah. It's all right, Jon. Corey can navigate his bass guitar. That's all we need.
It's all I'm good for.
So speaking of that, so how excited are you guys to have these 3 tracks out on a total of 5 that's on this EP get ready to come out?
Man, it feels good. It's been a lot of hard work, releasing 3 singles since February. I don't think I ever realized just how much work it really goes into going into the recording studio, getting songs mastered, picking out album art, putting it into distribution, coming up with the promo content to promote it. There's all these steps. And I think until you really do it, you really, I feel like I have a new appreciation for music. I mean, I don't want to speak for Corey, but that's just kind of how I feel about it.
I got to say I'm just as much, if not equally, or just as much, if not more stoked. This is a new thing for me, and coming right into the project and hearing the first 2 singles, and then later when I got to hear all the other stuff, I was like, oh my God, this band is really good. So I really had to step up my game and get prepared because, we've been moving like the freaking Niagara Falls trying to get ready for these shows and all that stuff. So yeah, the stoked factor is 100% there. And yeah, just looking forward to the future.
Everybody thinks that, oh man, we're going to get a band, we're going to put an album out, it's going to be all this easy work. And then once you start working on it and then you see all behind the scenes stuff, it's like, oh shit, what do we do?
Oh yeah, it's you better hold on to something because we're about to go 0 to 100 real quick.
So how did this band form? Who got the ball rolling, Tonya? Was that you?
Yeah, so I really was kind of the one who during COVID, so my husband Cody plays guitar in the band, and during COVID when we just kind of got locked in, pretty much we live in a 1-bedroom apartment, so there's really not a whole lot of space. And I just made an attempt to every night we just sat down and we just wrote something, and so, a lot of it was crap, but the stuff that you just kind of keep working on and developing, we ended up running across for example, Phoenix, we wrote that on our couch one night, and so Cody and I started writing during the COVID time era. And then once the world started opening up, we ended up, meeting Jon, showed Jon, 30 songs Cody and I sat down and wrote. Jon loved the music. We all vibed well. He loved that we knew how to write songs. Because a lot in Nashville, you find people who do a lot of cover bands, and you don't really find people that know how to write songs, you know. And then we just kind of jammed with Jon with hired guns over the past year for bass players until we found the right person. And then when we came across Corey, his talent, his skills is just phenomenal. And he really also just vibed really well. Chemistry wise was there, writing was there. And we just knew we wanted him to be in this project and this band with us, a part of our family. And so Corey's been, you know, jamming with us now for a couple months, and he's been a great addition. But this whole thing just kind of like snowballed from nothing, and it's turned into just be just this, you know, miraculous experience.
I was soaking in all the kind words she was saying. Just kind of letting them sink in. No, that's one thing, you know, being a Nashville musician, you don't hear compliments as much as you want to. Like, you can think you played like an amazing gig, and then, you know, other players you recognize that are there, they'll be like, hey, what's up, man? They won't even say good gig. You know, it's just kind of the expectation. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely feel at the very least, modestly speaking, I've been pulling my weight. Yeah. You know, I've just you know, eared out the songs, you know, other little discrepancies, you know, me and Cody kind of hashed out on guitars the first couple of weeks. You know, I feel like I had you know, when I came in for the audition, I had, you know, a good 85 to 90% of the songs down coming in there. And yeah, we were able to get through the first two songs. Next week, it was the third song. And then next week, it was song 4. And then they're like, hey, we kind of want you in the band. I'm like, all right, bet. So yeah, luckily the music's awesome. And yeah, they're all great human beings. You know, as me and Tonya, man, we're kindred spirits, I got to say.
Yeah.
Well,
Corey's like my little brother.
by 2 years, yeah, we definitely vibe. We're both super goofballs. Me and Cody, we get along really well. I will say he's a little bit of a tougher nut to crack, but man, we've been having some great times. And you know, Jon is. I have nothing but good things to say about that man, and like so much goddamn respect. I almost feel a little intimidated sometimes, you know, you know, like critiquing things in rehearsals, and you know, I'm just like, oh man.
So I'm going to put Tonya on the hot seat here. After having Corey come into the band, has he gave you that extra spark that might have been missing? Maybe.
You know, I don't want to say like Corey provided an extra spark, because like amongst me, Cody, and Jon, like we've had this fire rolling for the past year and a half now. You know, we are so passionate. We rehearse twice, sometimes even 3 times a week. We're writing, you know, I talk to Jon 20 times a day, literally, like 8 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock noon. No. But I think what really kind of excited me about having Corey in the band is that we've never had an opportunity to actually write with a bass player. You know, a lot of the songs that we wrote was either Cody and I during COVID, or, you know, when Jon came in. But when you add an extra element, you add that bass element. I don't know, it's different. And I think as far as spark wise goes, I'm just excited to be able to write with a bass player.
Yeah, I was going to say, I definitely got thrown into the fire. That fire was already burning.
What made Phoenix the debut single released off this upcoming EP? What's so special about that song that you guys said that has to be the first one?
You know, Phoenix, there's 2 things. So the very first thing is releasing Phoenix showed every aspect of the band. It shows a soft side, it shows a melodic side, an ambient side, a harder side. It really shows exactly who we are. And then symbolically, you know, the lyrics of rising from the ashes and coming out on top, you know, really just kind of felt like that was hitting the nail on the coffin as far as our story goes, you know. So it just kind of made sense to release that song first.
We talked about this just a little bit before we started the podcast. This is a 5-track EP, and there's already 3 songs released off of it. Are these other 2 going to be coming out, or you just want to wait and see how the reaction is per track before you guys do that?
So we actually decided this yesterday, but so you're the first to hear about it. So what we're going to be doing is, we released Phoenix, Falling Into Place, and Search for You as singles to kind of beta test the waters and see what, our fans and our audience really liked. And we do have 2 more songs on the EP. However, we are only going to be releasing physical copies on May 7th. So on May 7th at our show, we will have 100 signed CDs. They're going to have the pull-out booklet with the lyrics in it. Like, we're going like old school, like early 2000s.
Wow.
We're making it a really like another piece of art. And then so the plan is physical copies on May 7th. Then we're going to release the digital version to the public on June 4th. So if you do come to our EP release show, you are absolutely getting an exclusive product that can only be bought at our stores. You'll be the very first to hear the music before anybody else.
Any tracks that did not make this EP we could see on another upcoming album or maybe another EP down the road from you guys and gals?
There's so many. I'm telling you, Jon and Cody and I pump out music, and there's a song called Heartstrings that is so good. It's a very like deep, dark, in this moment kind of vibe, which is really cool. Then there's another one that's very ambient and melodic. It's a very it's our slow song ballad, and it's called Here With Me. We have a lot that didn't make it, but the songs that did make it, we specifically chose 5 songs where each song was different. None of the songs are the same. Every song, I feel like if there's one person in the crowd, or actually, let me take that back. If there's many people in the crowd with different tastes and styles, one of these songs you're going to walk away loving. Yeah. And that's kind of, we wanted to show that we can do pretty much anything.
Yeah, because I'm a huge Metallica fan. And I mean, you don't want to hear the same album 15 years down the road. It's the same thing every time. You may like it, but eventually you're going to be like, let's just do something else. So, how long can you go 1,000 miles an hour on every album? I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, when do you stop?
How do they not have tendonitis, man?
Yeah, really. Carpal tunnel, yeah, man.
Right, like, man, I could play Master of Puppets on guitar, alternate picking, but the way they down pick it, I'm just like, dude, how are you guys still able to do that?
No,
let alone in the first place. It blows my mind.
No, bro, Guitar Hero. I could burn it up.
Me too, man.
So
I have to play one day.
Yeah. Oh, the challenge. Oh,
yeah.
Challenge.
I'm offering it. See if I still got my chops.
I know there's 5 tracks on this EP, but are there any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on it? Because I know these are special to you guys, but do you have any that stick out for the both of you?
Corey, you want to go first?
I mean, Tonya, you already know Search for You is my favorite song so far, even though I love all of them. That song is definitely, on the personal side towards Tonya and Cody. But me able to empathize with what that song is about and just loving it musically and lyrically, just, yeah, I can't love it anymore. It's just, it's number 1 for sure. But yeah, I definitely love all 5 songs. And yeah, not Search for You. I'm still learning all the names for our songs. What's Here With Me, that new one that Tonya mentioned that was one.
Oh yeah, it didn't make the cut. Yeah,
it didn't make the cut, but yeah, we've been rehearsing that one, and oh my gosh, it's just such a banger. All the songs are bangers in my opinion.
It's like Lydia's Castles. It's Been a While by Stain. Yeah, it'd be another hit. I think out of all 5 songs, when I sit down and I write the lyrics or, whatnot, I think all of them, hold a special place in my heart. And I feel like that's kind of why I never got into songwriting, is because I feel like I can't sell my stories to other people. Like, they're my they're my babies, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I think like out of all of them, absolutely Search for You just hits a really special, you know, soft spot in my heart. One of the ones that didn't get chosen as a single is called Fading Away. And that song is my second favorite song on the album. To me, that's kind of like a female A Day to Remember kind of vibe. Like it is definitely, yeah, it's very heavy. It's not heavy like Falling Into Place.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of heavy.
Yeah, it's this more slow tempo, just kind of a sledgehammer song. And yeah, that being said, that song is my favorite song to play. Whereas Search for You is my favorite all around, but that one, what was it called again?
Fading Away.
Fading Away. Second song on the set list.
Don't worry, Corey. I'll send you the lyrics after we're done.
Hey, yeah, I barely know any of the lyrics. You know, it's just I've had to learn these bass parts. I'm still trying to remember what song titles are. You know, it's been a lot to take in like a month and a half. So sorry if I'm not as quick as I usually like to be.
No, you're doing great.
You're doing great.
It's like you don't want to give the whole, you know, pizza away. You want to give some slices out, but like save the rest. Like, hey, come on, you know, there's some more stuff on there you need to check out.
I feel like we did it the right way. You know, releasing 3 singles, you know, once a month, and just you know, saving the other 2 songs, you know, for the release. You know, we don't want to put them all out as singles. So
John 5 did the same thing with his full length. I don't know if it was his last full length or the one previously, but he did all singles. And once they were all released, then he put the album out.
Nice.
So
there's no right or wrong way to do it.
You know? Do what you want to do. Yeah. I mean, just like kind of, I guess, through the collective lens, I feel like for this project, that was kind of the best way to go about it, especially only having like 5 songs, you know.
Yeah.
We wanted to make the EP that you purchased just something like you're going to have some songs that nobody else has heard.
Yeah.
You know, like if you come and you buy this, like you literally get to hear it before anybody else, you know, because they won't be anywhere. And then our game plan, just kind of like how we've been doing, is after we play our show in May, we have another show we'll be announcing in June. That's a big one. But then we're going to release another music video for one of the singles in July. And then we'll release the last music video for the last single in August. And then from there, you know, we'll just keep playing shows and writing. But the goal is to go back into the studio in, you know, October, November, and record 5 more songs and do it all over again next year.
Yeah.
Was there? Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Was there a track that you were working on that totally ended up sounding different than it was intended to when it was brought to the table? Was there one that just like kept changing just to say, you know what, screw it, let's do it this way?
Yes, actually, I'm so glad you asked that because nobody that I've done a podcast with has asked this question yet. So kudos to you. But yes, we have one song that completely changed in the studio. And I'm talking even the lyrics changed. I wrote the lyrics. So we have a song. It's called What Comes Around. I rewrote these lyrics 2 days before I recorded it into the studio.
Jeez.
I knew I was not 100% sold on it. I knew I could do better. And so when we go to record, we're like in the middle of nowhere. There's no cell service. It's all woods. I stayed up there for a week or 2 to record vocals. And so I had all of this time on my hands and I rewrote 3 verses from nowhere. And it ended up being like another one of my really favorite songs. And it's just crazy that when you go into the studio, you think that you have done your own pre-production, your songs sound great, right? And then you get in there and it's like they just keep developing and changing and they keep getting better and better. And the whole process was just so cool.
I gotta ask this question because I saw this and I thought of, and forgive me, I love Metallica. This is my favorite, band, but it reminded me of Saint Anger. You guys did a video falling into place in a jail cell. Is that correct? Am I wrong on that?
Yes, and that was a last minute decision too, believe it or not. We were going to record this music video in someone's backyard. And we were going to do it in the woods and have zombies or, like whatever, like fog and lights and lasers, whatever. And I'm sitting on the couch. This couch must be lucky or something because I'm like surfing the web and I come across this like jail scene prop that you can rent out. Now it was way over our budget.
Yeah.
But I talked to the guys. I said, look, if we want to make a splash, we got to keep doing what other people are not doing. And we also need to do what makes the most sense for the song. And we booked it. And 5 days later, we recorded that music video in 6 hours with like 15 people. And it was a hustle, but boy, that was like the most fun video that I've ever shot.
Corey, what about you, man? Let's talk about that for you. How fun was that for you making this?
Well, I actually wasn't a part of that process.
Mm.
Yeah,
I know you just missed out on it.
Yeah.
We ended up having our friend Jamie Millard, who has been our hired gun bass player for previously before Corey, and he is also another phenomenal player. He goes around and tours with Mark Slaughter from the band Slaughter.
Yep.
And so we asked him, hey, can you fill in? Because what happened is when we recorded Phoenix without a bass player, we got so much crap from people and they were like, hey, did you forget to hire or did your bass player not make it on in time for the video?
Typical bass player.
Or like, did you not have enough money to hire a bass player for the video?
Wow.
And
yeah,
so
we're expensive, man.
I was like, okay, so we have to have somebody in this video because I don't want to deal with that again. And then it was literally like a week later, we met Corey and we were like, dang it.
We can like edit the video and put him in there, like CDs, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, just After Effects me in there, my face it doesn't move. It's just like in the same. If I wish my camera was working, I'm actually trying to download an iPhone webcam app while I'm doing this conversation, so that way you can see all the stupid faces I make. Because
he would have been great for the music video, that's for sure.
Bass face all day.
Was this EP produced in-house? How'd this go down with that part of it?
So for the music video or for recording, we ended up using the producer's name is Jack C. Daniels, and he's from Sick Tone Studios. He's out in Missouri, and our friends in Inimical Drive, they're from St. Louis. They've used him multiple times, and he has produced a lot of St. Louis bands. And the reason why we went with him was because not that Nashville doesn't have great producers. We just couldn't at the time find somebody to make the sound we were looking for. It's important that when you first release music, that this is the first time people are hearing you. And the producer is really creating your sound for the very first time. We wanted to bring a sound to Nashville that nobody else had, nobody else was doing. So we had to go where nobody else was going. So Jack C. Daniels, he has a full studio in his basement. He's been recording bands for about 20 years now. And he lives in the middle of nowhere. It's woods. There's no cell service. There's like a McDonald's.
There's always a McDonald's.
I think there's like a Piggly Wiggly. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but it's really in the middle of nowhere. It was a great experience. We really just got to only focus on music for 3 weeks. So
here's $1 million question with him. Did he push you guys to get what you were looking for? Are you happy the way he pushed you all, or did he get something out of you guys that maybe somebody else might not have gotten?
I have never been pushed so hard creatively in my entire life. I feel like I developed better writing skills lyrically with him. I feel like I developed better singing techniques singing with him. I can even speak on behalf of Cody, where there were times where Cody got frustrated and he had to go out and get some fresh air because he was being pushed. All of us, we were being, even Jon, people think that just because Jon plays in Stained that, people aren't going to say, hey, you need to do this again, or push him as well. And that's what Jon wants. Jon wants somebody to come in and say, I know that you can even think of something even cooler than what you just came up with, And so all of us went in there, all of us were incredibly pushed to great lengths, and there were frustrating times, but it only just made us so much better.
Corey, your thoughts? Was he in on this too, or no? Or
Corey wasn't in on the recording, but I mean, I can talk. You can ask Corey from like just learning the parts wise. I'm sure there's parts that Corey learned where maybe he learned a new technique or things that he probably didn't think about in the past. I mean,
I will definitely say all the cover band work I've been doing in town is really up my ear game, and I was fortunate enough, in my ability to be able to navigate these tunes without a whole lot of visual information. But of course there were tweaks that needed to be made, but they're so fun to play. But there was speaking of technique, in Falling Into Place, there's this bass solo that Jack recorded, and yes, he's the Jack Daniels. But so I ended up learning the bass solo. It's not really a solo. It's just like a 1-bar thing, which, if you've heard the song, you probably know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Where it's like this tapping lick that he recorded, but if I were to guess, he did it sitting down.
He did. And
I learned it sitting down. And then when it came to executing live, I've got to look cool up there. So, I've got my strap, slung pretty low. And when I went to execute playing it, it just, I couldn't play it as clean as I could if I were sitting, as anyone could sitting down, as a matter of fact, not just a me thing. So me having the creative freedom to do, essentially what I want within the ballpark, just kind of changed up that little part. So yeah, I've been doing as much as I can creatively while still keeping integrity to a lot of the cool stuff that was already recorded, and just staying rhythmically locked in with Jon and locked in like every like unison riff thing. I've doubled and triple checked with Cody, and I would go home and every week after every rehearsal reapply what we've studied or what we've learned, correcting what was wrong on my end. It's like, and after every week we just got tighter and tighter, and then we played that first show, and it was like, wow, we're doing it now.
I gotta ask this because music has helped everybody that's out there. I don't care, they can say it hasn't, but it has. Music has helped everybody out in some certain way.
Oh yeah.
But for you both, what's your thoughts on Lydia's Castle being a voice for people who feel like they can't speak or can't say the words they need to say, but you're saying that for them? What's your thoughts on that?
You want to go first, Corey?
Oh, I would definitely see that this band has an extremely powerful voice. And not only, with the concept of Search for You being a very relatable thing that a lot of people are either afraid or ashamed to speak about. Tonya could go into way more detail than I can, just because I can't really relate. But not only on that subject, but on every lyrical and physical concept we address in our songwriting, we want to do it from a very relatable point of view. A song can be a good song, but a great song is one that people can hear and see themselves being the main character of in some sort of way, something relatable. That's what makes a song the song. So we definitely try to just like stay, as on top of the game as we can, both melodically and lyrically with songwriting, and just to try to connect and touch as many people as possible, while also just making the most banging riffs we possibly can,
Right. Yeah, I would say, Phoenix was written about bullying. Falling into Place is written about being judged and somebody wanting to live their life the way they want to live it. Search for You is about loss and searching for somebody in another life. Fading Away is a song. It's talking about like somebody who keeps like running their mouth, and it's like the chorus goes, you know, stop and take a bow. It's obvious you want to talk a big game. Come down. Stop and take a bow. You're notorious. I'm through with you, and I'm through with you. It's about somebody just being completely done with a situation. And then what am I missing? Oh, What Comes Around is just somebody in an absolutely abusive relationship. And it's just somebody that's saying like, it's about karma. It's, you know, whatever you say, how you treat people, that does come back around. And it's that person telling the person in the abusive relationship that. So.
Yep. All right, Tonya, how can folks stay in touch with Lydias Castle, pick up these 3 singles and this EP when it comes out? How can they do all this, plus touring, merchandise, all this? How can they do that?
Man, we are a one-stop shop, lydiascastle.com. We are the only Lydias Castle in the existence of any Lydias Castle anywhere on the interwebs. So you can go to lydiascastle.com. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, but all tickets, merch, bio, EPK, all of that is on our website.
And before I let you both go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Yeah. Hey, what's up? This is Tonya from Lydias Castle.
And this is Corey, also from Lydias Castle.
And you're listening to
BODS Mayhem Hour.
There you go, folks.
Yeah.
Folks.
Alley-oop.
We got some great stuff coming up here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Please check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link and our YouTube link. Go subscribe to the YouTube link because we got a lot of great stuff coming down the pipe for all you guys and gals out there. Check out Lydias Castle. Pick up their new singles, Phoenix, Falling Into Place, Search for You, and get this EP that's coming out too. And trust me, folks, just like Tonya said, if there's going to be one song on here that somebody will gravitate to, so that's good. So check them out. And Tonya and Corey, thank you both so much for doing this interview with me.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.